That's Mr. Gosar from Arizona.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just like last night, the White House requested an additional $98.6 billion for disaster relief, with $40 billion marked for FEMA. Although it was created to provide relief from disasters, FEMA has now become the Biden-Harris administration's star student in political persecution. In October, FEMA intentionally violated the civil rights of American citizens in response to Hurricanes Helene and Milton. This is a key example of the weaponization of the federal government against the American people. And I suspect there is more for this committee to uncover. It is critical that Congress is empowered to conduct rigorous oversight before any emergency funding that has been placed into FEMA's hands. Ms. Criswell, according to your testimony, FEMA led the interagency response to Hurricane Helene and Milton for up to 64 different agencies. Do you think FEMA has the authority to direct these other agencies to also avoid homes with Trump signs?
There's nothing in FEMA's policy that would ever direct anybody to avoid anybody, regardless of political affiliation or way of life. Our mission is to help all people before, during, and after disasters.
Gotcha. Former FEMA employee Marnie Washington told reporters this discrimination was a colossal event and occurred in Florida, North Carolina, and South Carolina. You testified earlier today at T&I committee that this was an isolated incident and that no other supervisor or employee deployed with Marnie Washington provided the guidance to avoid homes advertising Trump signs. Will you commit to also requesting an IG report for the discrimination in North Carolina and South Carolina?
I have already requested the Inspector General to investigate this, but I will be certain to ensure that they include North Carolina and South Carolina in that.
Thank you. An anonymous female employee, we've been told, I guess it would be from the Daily Signal, that employees were also advised to avoid certain homes and specifically use the terms hick, cowboy, redneck, Trump supporters, and MAGA to describe them. Have you come across any of these terms in your investigation so far?
This is the first I am ever hearing any of those terms.
I'll make sure you have those. In an interview with the Washington Examiner, they said these homes were avoided because based on community trends from hostile political encounters. My question to you is, how does FEMA declare an incident as a community trend? Is it true that it only takes one encounter to make a FEMA employee uncomfortable to declare a community trend?
One of the things that these teams do, our disaster survivor assistance teams, is they go into the communities to not only register people for assistance, but to understand the impacts of the community. They're looking for things like damages and access issues to transportation infrastructure. They're looking for damages to water and power. They're also trying to understand the survivor needs. These are often referred to as community trends, but these are used to help us understand the impacts and what resources we're going to need to bring in. These are not proactive efforts to try to identify where we should or should not go.
Okay, so my office requested these incident reports ahead of this hearing, but were not provided. Can you please provide this committee with the incident reports that determined Lake Placid should be defined as a community trend?
I wouldn't say that Lake Placid was defined as a community trend. Again, when we talk about impacts to a community, we're looking at impacts to that community and survivor needs.
So you would provide all the incident reports? So
we will work with Congress on the request for information and provide what you need.
Now, Ms. Criswell, in October you said fighting misinformation is a priority for FEMA, including that you allege misinformation from President Trump, Elon Musk, and some of my colleagues about FEMA's responsibility or lack thereof in its spending. Is FEMA spending its taxpayer funds responsibly? Quick question.
Can you repeat that, sir?
Yes, is FEMA spending its taxpayer funds responsibly?
We are absolutely spending our taxpayer dollars responsibly and supporting an unbelievable increase in the number of severe weather events that have been happening across the United States.
Are you aware of the OIG's report from 2320 from March of 2023 titled, FEMA should increase oversight to prevent misuse of humanitarian relief funds, and or a second September 2022 OIG report titled, FEMA did not implement controls to prevent more than $3.7 billion in improper payments from the Lost Wages Assistance Program?
I'm aware of those reports.
And you knew this, and then how are you applying that to this discovery now that you're hearing about Ms. Washington and possibly other people causing a problem for this?
We value our partnership with the Inspector General, and we appreciate the findings that they give us and our areas that we can continue to improve. Some of those reports and some of the findings in those we non-concurred with. But for those that we did, we continue to work with them so we can continue to improve, because we are not a perfect agency, and we always look to improve the way we help people.
I don't think anybody's perfect, so thank you. Appreciate it.